What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and give you guys some insight on what on earth is going on with earnings and what you should be anticipating for the future. I'm also going to break down their earnings report for you guys and help you guys better understand and be prepared for something very important, because I do have a very important warning for you guys. I'm also going to talk about what the price may end up doing, but before I do that, before I do any price analysis or talk about NIO's earnings, I do have to mention a couple of very important things first. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please do not take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, but benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below in the description. If you do sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're not only going to qualify for up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500, but you're also going to get a free NIO share if you check out the offer down below. This is a limited time offer that ends at the end of March. We're almost there. It would also give you access to the Hong Kong exchange, which would allow you to buy NIO shares on the Hong Kong exchange. That's a great opportunity, so please check out the offer down below. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at NIO, it's looking very awesome right now, and I'm very excited for their earnings. And in my opinion, it really can go either way because it depends on what the numbers show. Now, in my opinion, I can't give a perfect price prediction of what is really going to go down, but I do want to talk about this right here. So if you bring up the 1-day chart, and I'm sure you guys noticed this too. Actually, it's probably not showing in the 1-day chart. I think the 2 hour candles show it. We do have a gap somewhere right over here. I remember seeing one. I think it's right over here. So the gap may bring us down to maybe the $20 range going into tomorrow. There's a possibility of some downside, but here's the thing. We do have earnings, and earnings could really push us in either direction because you have to actually see the numbers first before making a true assessment. So look at this right here. March 24th. And I think that there may be a difference in the time zone because it's in China, but March 24th is the date at which earnings is going to come out. So right over here, we get the estimates that show right here. Many analysts are saying NIO is a very, very strong buy right now. Their consensus is a negative $0.14. That's their earnings per share. And then last year's was negative 1.05. So that's a pretty good improvement that we're seeing. NIO is very close to profitability. We may even achieve it this year, which I think would be fantastic for the share price. I mean, I'm very, very excited for that. So they're reporting Q4 of 2021, and it does say March 23rd. I think it depends um, on the time zone, but it's essentially going to be, I think, the 24th for China. So we're very, very close to that. Now, let's look at this right here. This is NIO's sales in China. We have Q4 of 2021 showing right over here. You guys can see the fourth quarter is right over here, these last 3 months. And the thing about that is the dark blue lines represent their sales. Now, as you guys could see, the dark blue line for 2021 in January was very strong, and then it got even better in 2022. But then for 2021, it dropped a little bit. It stayed pretty consistent, right? It was very, very good. And then right here around September, we got this big spike, and we expected it to continue. But then we got this big drop right here in October, right? There was a big drop. Now, this happened because of supply constraints and other things like that. And there's also the effect of inflation that may have an effect on their data and their revenue. So November and December picked up very, very strong, but we got that drop in October. Now, I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world. What matters most is how do they do on EPS? Are they going to crush it or are they going to come short? And I believe that it's going to be very close. That's what I think. It's very, very hard to tell. If they do end up crushing it, that would be fantastic for the share price. But if they don't, then we could end up dropping. So it really depends on what this data reports, but as of right now, it's not looking too bad. Now, I think the Fool.com or Motley Fool, they essentially reported all of this to the changes in their production, and we are going to get lots of news involving the ET7 sedan because they stated that it did get impacted by the supply chain constraints, but right now it's getting better and better and better, and many big banks are giving NIO some very good buy ratings. So right now we're seeing lots of improvements. There are some big banks out there. Many analysts are saying NIO has a share price target of $50, maybe even much higher. But I want to just go over the possibilities with you guys. So NIO Global did talk about this. I'm going to just mention this real quick before I talk about the share price. NIO Day 2021, they collaborated with Alan Walker, and they had a new virtual music live show for their international community. Well, just a few days ago on March 9th, 2022, he had a new song known as Hello World, which was released globally, and that was a huge hit. So it's very, very amazing. And a lot of people are very excited because of how big the brand is getting. Now, here's the big thing, and this makes me very, very excited. Here's the really, really cool thing. NIO is doing very well in terms of the share price. We are starting to run to the upside, and we have two main gaps, right? There's one way up here to the $27 range. If earnings is that huge, if they surprise us with something amazing, it's very possible that we could run all the way up there, and shorts could even start covering. I mean, that would be insane. But if earnings is a huge miss, which is a possibility considering that we did get that drop due to supply constraints in October, we could end up dropping. Now, we could just drop maybe a few dollars, but in an extreme situation, if there's lots of FUD, it could just go as low right over here to fill this gap before bouncing right back up. Now, no matter what happens, I want you guys to remember something. We're in a more bullish market. Things are improving, and the short thesis is getting weaker and weaker for NIO. So whatever happens is going to be good, in my opinion, because if this thing drops down here, if it somehow did that, I'm not going to be scared. I'm not going to be worried because I know it's going to quickly bounce back as fast as it drops. That's how fast it could run right back up. Nothing to be scared about. A very good buying opportunity. We'd be blessed with another great buying opportunity. But if it runs up, that's also great because we want to see this thing run up as well. So either way, it is very possible for us to go either way, right? We may not even swing that hard. It really depends on what on earth is announced. And I'm not going to make any perfect prediction about that. I just want to put it out there that I want to warn you guys about this. For tomorrow going into earnings, we may fill this gap a little bit, see a slight pullback, maybe run up a little. I see lots of sideways action essentially. And then once the news comes out, that's going to affect where we end up going. So I want to prepare you guys for that. Be prepared and be very careful if you want to play, options on this day, or you want to just play the day. It's really up to you, but I'm just putting the news out there. It's up to you to decide with what you want to do. Now, the last thing I'm going to do real quick is some technical analysis, because if we look at this right here, looking at the MACD, the RSI, and other things like this, you can see that we've been ascending quite well. And we have this kind of like, how should I say, we're hitting the plateau right over here. So that's an indicator that we are getting hit with very strong resistance at the $22 level. RSI still remains kind of like overbought, but it's not bad. I mean, that's actually pretty good. So from where I see it, we haven't gotten that 1348 EMA crossover yet. And we'd have to wait and see really what happens during earnings, because I think that's what the chart is showing. It's just waiting for that move. We're basically in the center between running really high up or dropping really back down. We're in the near the midline, so we'll just have to wait. And once the data comes out, I really hope for the best for NIO. If it is a slight miss, then it's okay. We could end up dropping, but it's nothing to be worried about because we'll bounce right back. If we do end up doing really well, it'll just keep running, and that would be fantastic. So I would love to see how it goes. Get ready, guys. Earnings is here, and I can't wait for what the future holds. I want to thank you all for listening. Please have a fantastic rest of the day. And the final reminder, right over here, mark your calendars because earnings will be announced tomorrow. Thank you all for listening. Have a great rest of the day. I'm still very bullish for NIO regardless of what happens, and I'll see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon, and peace out.